Welcome everyone. Wow. The start of the DMI, which will run right into LiNC. And I know people have come from quite a ways. Crew from Omaha, 3 days straight. Man, y'all have been going at it. And so we are excited. We got folks from, as well, all the way down from Miami, Gainesville. Let's see, Gainesville, Jacksonville, Raleigh. Yeah. Of course, Norfolk crew. Yeah, strong showing. And let's see, we got a couple from Colorado and Charlotte. Oh yeah, Charlotte. Thank you. And Athens. Oh yeah. And oh my, Ohio representation. Yeah, we'll take that in. But thank y'all for coming. And we have emphasized that these next 3 days are going to be a vital time of training. For those of y'all that are only able to be here for the first 3 days, this will be tremendous for you to grasp. Take these tools, the training, and take it home with you and practice. We're going to do the same here at LiNC, and for the next month, our goal is to take what we learned these first 3 days and put it into practice. You know, I was thinking back to my first LiNC, and of course this was before most of y'all were born. This was LiNC of I won't call it a LiNC. It's Summer Project. This is when they started out. 1989. Yeah. We had 3 kids at the time. We drove up in our Subaru station wagon, bright yellow, and went up to Maryland, University of Maryland, and we had rented out some fraternity houses along the road. Now, these fraternity houses are what you would stereotypically think of when you think of a rundown house that smells quite like beer, and it's just kind of gutted. And you think, how could guys live here? Well, we lived there for the summer. And I remember our family got to live in the president's quarters, which consisted of it was an office desk and then just a bare floor. And so our family of 5 slept on the floor on sleeping bags for the summer. And that was our first summer project. You know, for me, I was a fairly new pastor, just 2 years into being a pastor. And there were some spiritual giants that were part of the summer project. They'd come from around the country. They were folks that I had even heard some at conferences. I looked up to different ones, and to be quite frank with you, it was an intimidating time as I stepped into my first summer project. Would I be able to keep up the pace that everybody else was at? Was I even, did I know just a fraction of what these other people knew? And it was something I internally would wrestle with, just feeling like, man, do I have what it takes? And that's something that I know God used mightily just to reinforce His provision and to show me even during that first summer project that He wants to use me in certain unique ways that maybe he wouldn't be able to use others in, or choose to use me differently in. He used that time, and trying to think, Jim, I know you were part of summer projects early on. Were you?
86, 87, 88.
Okay, so.
But I'm younger than you, though. But
I know. Okay. But it was it Maryland there
Maryland,
as
yeah.
well? So
Returned
just
to-
as
yeah.
you got everything rolling, and then we came in.
Yeah.
But you remember?
Gallons and gallons of bleach.
Yes. Oh my. And as tell you what, you can do this if you just designate one person per table at a time. There's some scrumptious cake over there that just came in. So, but only one person per table at a time can go over and get some while I'm talking or things are going on. Because I don't want you to wait till the end, because we'll be scooting out of here fast. So, so I say that in that I dare say there's different ones of y'all here that maybe this is your first LiNC, your first summer project. Even if you a handful of y'all have been on project together, still there's that tinge of, do I stack up? Do I have what it takes? If I were to compare myself to the people around me, how do I feel? And there may be a certain degree of anxiety, of uncertainty. And one, I'll just share with you, I think that's normal. That's something that I'd say if you're not, there may not be a slight degree of fear or uncertainty. You're probably in the wrong place. And I would encourage you that God's going to take us these next 3 days, and then for those in LiNC, the rest of the month, He's going to take us together to grow. He's got a game plan for each one of us, and He's got a way that He wants to work in us, not only to build our lives, but to use us to build into others. And He's got you here with unique gifting and passions, and just even your personality is one that we need. One thing that we share about in LiNC is just that our goal with those in particular, with our focus is mainly college students, but we find that so many that come in and are part of our churches, there's varying degrees of maturity, varying degrees of experience, but in that, so often a challenge of how do I really impact the people around me. I have a passion for sharing the gospel. I have a desire to help people grow in their walk with Christ, but I don't know if I really have the tools or the experience to see that happen. And there's uncertainty in our life about that. And the thing that we want to see through these next 3 days of DMI and for the next month of LiNC is to see you grow in confidence and competence. Those two areas, and they may seem like synonymous. I'll make a distinction there. Confidence is one. I know Daniel chapter 11, verse 32. It says, "Those who know their God will display strength and take action." And it's stuck in a series of prophecy that Daniel is sharing about a Syrian king who's just ransacking Israel and decimating the temple. And it just talks about this is what is going to happen, and it does happen. I mean, it's so accurate what's taking place. But right in there, it just sandwiched in there is this passage that I think most scholars would say clearly this is pointing to a group of people, the Maccabees, who existed in history right before Christ, and they were the Jews who continued to believe in God, that God was a big God, and that He could tackle whatever the opposition, whatever the challenges they faced, and even what was going on at that time, what was prophesied, that these Maccabees, they took the challenge of, hey, we are going to stand up, and even though, and they definitely had a lot of martyrdom happen surrounding what they were doing, but they held strongly to God and continued what He had asked them to do in proclaiming Him. And as a result, the temple that was desecrated was reestablished. It was just really amazing what this small band of people did for God, because they had a belief that God was big enough. And there was that confidence that allowed them to go against the tide. And to me, that's something that God is wanting to establish in our lives. Ability, just that confidence that, hey, not only does He give me a desire to be effective in other people's lives, to be effective in the gospel, to be discipling, but He wants me to do that boldly, to grow in that boldness. And again, with the various personalities out here, it's going to look different for each one of us, but just that encouragement that over the course of the coming days, I believe you're going to see that growth in confidence. Again, it's not a cockiness like, okay, I got it all down, but it's like, no, I see God doing things, and He is consistent, He's faithful. And so when it comes to not only our time here, but when I go back to my home church, my neighborhood, people I work with, I am going to see God continue to come through and work in and through me to reach others around me. So confidence is one thing that we trust God is going to instill in each one of you. Wherever you're at, that confidence grows in the days ahead. Competence is the other one. And I think of the verse 2 Timothy 4:2. It says, preach the word, be ready in season and out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with great patience and instruction. And it was a charge from the Apostle Paul to the guy he was discipling, Timothy, that this is, even against, in the context, against a lot of opposition, false prophets, false teachers, that there's this sense that, no, our goal in obedience is to get things down, and in our context, it's a matter of learning the tools, the things that will help us share the gospel effectively in a complete way, as well as develop people in things they need to grow in, as we're teaching them to observe all that God has commanded them. And so that's why the things that you're going to learn, especially these next 3 days, are things that will be practiced, not only during these 3 days, but for LiNC, it'll be over and over again, hopefully, this next month. And through getting those reps in, that's what we call it, doing our reps, getting that practice in, we'll grow in a competence that, okay, I've got certain skill sets down. There's always room to grow, always opportunity, But I have enough that a baseline that I know God can use me. And so we're looking forward to seeing that competence as well developed in each of our lives. And so as we, again, get ready to go back to our home churches, hometowns, our people we're going to be around, that as we grow in those two areas, competence and confidence, we can step in and say, okay, I think by God's grace, I have a much more solid handle on what it means to make disciples of the nations. And so that's our goal. And we want to trust that God will do that in our lives. And I just want to encourage you with that. Again, if it resonated with you that, hey, I'm a little uncertain, a little anxious, a little whatever, why don't you can you grab the person right next to you and take time just to pray for that. And for those two words in particular, confidence and competence, that God would instill that in you these next 3 days, and for those of y'all in LiNC throughout LiNC. And then our next trainer will be up here to close off the prayer. So don't stop praying until we close you off, okay? Go for it.